what the Ansarullah, this is what they do. Number one, they call people to worship Allah alone. They call people to worship Allah alone. And you don't have to necessarily be a da'i up on the podium or a desk giving a speech. You can remind your family. Remind your family when they forget. And we forget. So remind them to have ikhlas with their actions. Remind them to, like, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهِ. Don't be like those who forgot about Allah. فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. And then they end up forgetting about their own selves. We have to remind each other, starting with our families, young men and young women. You're not going to change the world until you change yourselves. You have to fix yourselves. Did you make up your bed today, Rayan? You start with making up your bed, right? That's how you're going to change the world. You fix your room first, and then you go out to change the world, okay? So we call the da'i, those who do da'wah, they call people to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And sometimes we have to remind Muslims, no, when you give money, do it for Allah's sake. Purely for Allah's sake. When you do actions that are set up for worshiping Allah, whether it's salat, zakat, Ramadan, hajj, lillah, it's for Allah. And sometimes we forget. So we have to remind each other. Number two, we have to show people, the Ansarullah, they show people how to earn Allah's pleasure. Number three, teach the sunnah. But you have to use the sunnah to teach the sunnah. Right? We don't use the sunnah as a stick to go and beat people with it, to beat people over the head. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was gentle in teaching people. And I can give you many hadith where people came to him with foul matters, telling him that they did these things. And he didn't say, Ma hashimti, short. You don't have any shame. You don't, what's wrong with you? That's not the sunnah. But the sunnah is to be gentle, and that's how we have to be. Okay? So those are the people that are helping to establish the deen of Allah. Now you may say, I'm not a scholar, I'm not an imam, I'm not a da'i, I don't give speeches. Okay, then I have something else for you. What you do in that case is you help those who are already doing the work. You help those that are already working in the path of Allah. There's many foundations. If this is your masjid, start here. All of these youth right here, they need to make sure that the school is going to keep going and be successful. So give your money, volunteer your time, find out what's happening in the community, find out what's happening amongst the vulnerable in your community. For sure there are women who are divorced. For sure there are children that are handicapped. For sure there are widows and orphans. For sure. Because Allah is going to continue to test us with these things ila yawm al-qiyamah. And who's going to respond? How will you respond? Support those that are doing the da'wah. You know, people who are talking to non-Muslims or talking to youth or any type of work like that, support them. Help them.